Hey, this is Matt once again with about to the video, and this is a paid request for Brock. Thank you so much for that. For those interested in requesting any type of videos, random topic, tier list, ranking, movie review, re-review, video game playthrough for an hour full playthrough, commentary, reaction, whatever the case may be, PayPal's usually the best bet, and it's best to use family and friends option on that, otherwise PayPal takes a cut of it. You can also use CashApp or Patreon because people have asked about those. All those links are down below in the info box. And if you do, thank you so much. I really appreciate it, and I'll get to it as soon as I can. Thank you so much. It really does help. But The Killer's Game from 2024 is the review for today, which was a massive bomb for Lionsgate. I gotta say, I guess John Wick films helped them, but they did more of these bombs. Don't be surprised one day you hear about them getting sold off to Amazon, where MGM's at, or some other company. Don't be surprised. I'm just saying, don't be surprised. But The Killer's Game, it was directed by J.J. Perry. And he did a film I quite enjoyed called Day Shift with Jamie Foxx. It's a vampire film, but it's an action film. Has Dave Franco, Snoop Dogg. That was a very entertaining film. I wish that would have gotten a Blu-ray release and physical format of any type of release. So this is his second film directing. You got Dave Bautista, who I do like. I've liked a couple of his films. Final Store, I believe, is the one where it's pretty much Die Hard by the soccer stadium, where he's overseas to see his daughter, and some other stuff happens, and then during the soccer game, or football, bad guys come about, he fights the bad guys. I thought, Pierce Brosnan is in the film. I thought that was a fun movie. Of course, his work in Guardians of the Galaxy, he does a good job in that. Army of the Dead sucked, but was that because of him? It was cool to see him in Blade Runner 2049. So I do like Bautista, and he plays a guy who is a hitman, but he's a good hitman, so he only goes after bad people. He has doubts if he wants to continue this. He does a hit. During the hit, he sees this dancer, played by Sofia Boutella. But she's been in a lot of films recently. She was in the Mummy movie with Tom Cruise. She was in Star Trek Beyond as that female alien, and a few other movies as well. He sees her, helps her out because she's in trouble, almost being trampled on when everything goes haywire. She wants to talk to him later, gives him her phone number. He's not sure about it, but he does accept it. They get along. They fall in love with each other. Then one day, Dave Bautista, he's been having all these headaches. He goes to a doctor, and the doctor says, you got this degenerative disease. You got this degenerative disease, and you're not going to be alive. You're lucky if you get 3 months before you start breaking down. So he decides to have a life insurance policy, and he's like, okay, well, I'm going to have someone put a hit on me, and I'm going to do it myself, as in, I'm going to pay someone to put a hit on me. Now, Graham's sitting there, anyway. Because he even says that, well, if I tried to end my own life, then, that's not covered in the insurance. Although I'm like, does an accident happen? I'm sure you can make it look like an accident, but anyway, this is what he's going to do, and this is the plot of the story. So his mentor is played by Ben Kingsley, which I do like him as an actor. It's nice to see him in here. But he's like, no, as he puts it, there's no way on this fucking earth I'm ordering a hit on you. Because he cares for Dave Bautista, he's close with him. So Bautista goes to this other lady, who's our pretty much main bad guy, or bad girl. Because she hates Bautista, because Bautista killed her dad, but the dad deserved it. And she's like, fine, I'll gladly take that offer for $2 million. At this time, the hit will be out on you, and adios muchachos. But then right before the hit goes forward, he gets the phone call that, oh, sorry, we switched up the tests. You're actually not dying. You're going to be fine. And then the rest of it is kind of this little gauntlet where he's fighting bad guys and assassins and tries to keep Sofia Boutella safe. The assassins involve this group of 5 Asian folks, this motorcycle duo, the Scottish group played by Drew McIntyre, the wrestler, and Scott Adkins, which I thought were easily the best ones. And I like the idea that they have Scottish accents so thick that they need subtitles for the audience to understand them. You also have these 2 strippers called the Party Girls. And you have this dancer guy. I think he's like a Spaniard or something, like dancer. And you also have Terry Crews. Which, I mean, I guess he couldn't be in the Expendables film because of that dickhead producer that did stuff to him. Which, trust me, this is a lot better than Expendables 4 or Expendables 3. I'm trying to think, is there anybody else I'm missing? No. And that's pretty much the rest of the film. Now, my thoughts on the film. It was okay. It was okay. I will admit there's a touch of disappointment I have with this, where I would probably... I rarely give ratings because they could change a week or a month from now. But I have this letterbox is what I use. I probably give this like a 3 out of 5. Maybe. Like 3 out of 5 stars. I don't hate the film. I think it's serviceable. I think there's some fun moments. I like Dave Bautista. He's a bit low-key. But some people might not like that. It didn't bother me. I thought it worked for his demeanor. But this did not seem like a... When I say it doesn't seem like a theatrical film, it seems like a film that would have gone to streaming on Netflix. In fact, I think Day Shift would have been more worthy to be in a theater than this film. Like, it does seem like a film you would just hop on streaming and flip through it on, again, on Netflix or something and have your 90 minutes or so and then go about your day. I think a lot of people saw the trailer and they felt the same way, so they didn't go see it in the theater. They'll just wait till it goes to streaming and they'll watch it on there. Now, the thing about the film is it takes a bit to get going. And people compare this to John Wick. That's not the film I would use. I would say this is a lesser version of Accident Man and Accident Man 2 Hitman's Holiday with Scott Adkins, who's, again, in the film, but which is about an assassin, and then it gets to a point where other assassins are coming after him, and he's got to fight the other assassins off. Accident Man 1 and 2, I thought, did a much better job in having more action, more memorable action set pieces, a bit more colorful personality that worked, especially the first one, better than this. While Accident Man 2 did have its flaws, even that felt a bit more exciting compared to this. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not going to sit here and say I don't think it's bad. I don't. If it did, I would admit it and say it. But like the first 40 minutes, it's not until the 40-minute mark until the inciting incident really happens and occurs, meaning when the assassins are going after Bautista and Bautista's got to go kick some ass. Now I get it, we're building up so we could get a bit more to the character, and there's little action here and there, to be fair. I mean, the first sequence is he's doing a hit at this dance hall where he cuts a guy's throat and he headshots a guy and he assassinates this other guy. But it's kind of there, and there's a lot of CGI blood in this. And I don't think it looked that great. And I did. I mean, there's a lot of films that I like that also have CGI blood. It's just one of those things I'm just getting so sick and tired of giving a pass for that. It's here to stay, Sally. And again, I love Rambo 4, and that has CG blood in it. Other films do too. Dread, I love. There's some film. Granted, part of it is because of the 3D, and they want to utilize it. Like the slow-mo, you see the CG blood. So I can let that go. But, I mean, there's other parts of that do have CG. It just... Why can't we just get blood squibs and makeup? Like, what's wrong with that? Is that really against the law or something now? Is it really that affecting the budget to do that? Is it really? Was that safe? Then make it safe. Tons of people were doing it for decades. But anyway. Like when he gets the knife in the guy and then you see the big blood spurt out, it's like, okay, it just looked a bit cartoonish. And again, that's when he escapes and he saves Sofia Boutella. And like I said with the plot before, here's my number, okay, I'll call you. They have decent chemistry with each other. I thought Bautista and her worked fairly well. There's a fun, creative bit J.J. Perry does of this transition where it's like two montages put into one. Where it's a montage of them bonding, falling in love with each other, but then as they do a move, then it cuts it to the montage of him doing these hits. So he hits someone, and then there's a bottle of water, bottle of wine falling, but it cuts to him pouring it for the lady. And then he's fighting and strangling someone, then it cuts to him in bed making love to the lady. So kind of this way of going back and forth transitions. I thought that was pretty creative. I thought that was a nicely edited scene. But I would say that's really the only action you get for the first 40 minutes. Unless you, to be fair, unless you want to count, so that's not entirely true, seeing what the other assassins are doing and how they work. So you see how the 5 Asian folks, how they work. You see how the biker guys, where they have someone tied up, and then as they go around, they pull the guy apart, and when he explodes, it shows the name of who these two guys are. So, that's kind of creative on how they did that, where, again, they pull the guy apart with rope on their motorcycles, and at least it reveals the name. So, yeah, he thinks he's got a disease, life insurance, he doesn't really have it. Oh shit. Oh, another guy, Daniel Bernhardt, which, damn, he's like in every other one of these movies. He's in John Wick, he's in Nobody, he's in, was he in Night Shift? I mean, a Day Shift? Can't remember. But yeah, he pops up a lot. He plays Max, a merc who works for the lady bad guy. If you think he's going to do any fight scenes or action scenes, that's not the case. He doesn't do that at all, which was very disappointing. Makes me go, why is he even here? Terry Crews, I mean, I like Terry Crews. He's fine, but it It's not that he was sleepwalking. Far from it. It's just, you know, he would pop up and then it's just like, okay, well, it's, you know, the first time he popped up, I didn't mind. He's doing a hit, and I guess the guy's trying to kill himself, and Terry's like, I appreciate the help, brother, but I need the receipts, and shoots the guy in the head, so I kind of liked his bit there. He says no to the offer to kill Bautista because the money's too low. Then when it's up to, okay, I'll do it. I think what it is, it's just that for a chunk of the movie, when you see him, he's paired up with this annoying cracker, wannabe gangsta, who's the cousin of the lady bad guy, who's like, hey, I'm going to be like Eminem, you're going to be like 50 Cent. And I'm like, how about you take the 50 cents, you shove them up your ass, and you find a slot machine to fit yourself in. You stay there until someone gets all the sevens. So you go to 7-Eleven and buy me a beer, and I'm going to spit in your face and I'm going to light you on fire. Get the fuck out of my face, alright? Hate that guy. He was irritating. I want someone to drop a cinder block on his head. He was irritating as hell. I don't know why he had to be in the film. And sadly, Terry Crews is partnered with them. So when he says shut up, I'm like, yep, Terry, I know how you feel, man. It's just that, like, especially later on, he didn't have a whole lot to play with. Like, okay, Terry Crews is a villain. He's a hitman. He could be funny. But they just really didn't give him a lot of meat on the bones to play with as a character, as a personality, backstory. Really, none of that was at play, which I thought was disappointing. So I think they could have used Terry Crews a lot more, a lot better here. Hell, I would say he was used better in Gamer, when he was a bad guy, which I like that film. I put that film above this, Gamer, with Gerard Butler. That's a film I thought was a bit underrated. I put that above this movie. I like Gamer. Now, when Dave Bautista, 40 minutes in, is starting to fight the bad guys, I'm like, oh, it's really picking up. For a little bit, in spurts. Because there's spoilers, heavy spoilers. When Dave Bautista's fighting the 5 Asian folks, I would say that's one of the best parts of the film, because he takes them on one by one. Sorry about that edit. I figured I would just stop it there, that way you didn't hear. If you heard a constant scratching, it would just be annoying, so I apologize for that. But I was just saying, when he fights the 5 Asian folks, he fights the one girl. It's a cool kill, but at the same time, it doesn't help that I just saw this kill done in a different and I thought better action movie called Life After Fighting, where he takes someone, puts it on their neck, and then goes down and fucks up their neck. I thought it was done better in Life After Fighting. It was done decent here, but I saw it done first in that movie, at least of films this year, and I thought that felt a bit more intense. Like, Life After Fighting, man, that was a nice surprise. Like that, and I mean, that's an independent film. So if an independent film can do fights like that, it's like, come on, man. What are we doing here? What are we doing here? But still, I mean, he screws her neck up. There's one guy who hits and he does this and breaks the guy's leg. There's a guy with a sword, and he takes the guy and throws him, and his head smacks into the wall. There's a girl he's fighting and punching her leg, and does an uppercut and breaks all her teeth out. There's a guy, and they kind of go back, they do like a standoff where they each throw something, and the guy gets like a big old, I forget what that's called, that weapon she had. Like I forget what it's called, it's like a big blade thing with a handle and the curve of a C. I don't know how you put it. But he hits the guy in the head, and then it's revealed that the knife only hit Bautista's leg. But the guy, like, because his head's almost cleaved off, is like, I got you. And then the one girl tries to go after him, but Bautista trips a mine, and a bomb and blows a girl back through the window and to the car. I'm like, ooh, that was a good stunt. Alright, it's kicking things off. And then almost immediately after, we have these two motorcycle guys. And they're doing some pretty good motorcycle stunts and using the bike as a weapon against Bautista. But then Bautista smacks a guy and stomps a guy's head to a pulp. And then he hits the bike and the guy flies off behind him. I'm like, alright, okay, now we're getting into this. And then the movie slows down a bit. Because now, okay, the bad girl has upped the price. And there's going to be more assassins. And as we're introduced to Scott Adkins and Drew McIntyre. To the stripper girls. To the dancer. Now, again, Scott Adkins and Drew McIntyre were easily the best assassins. I kind of like their back and forth. The little bit that we have, because they're not in it a whole lot. I like the idea that they have such thick Scottish accents you can't understand what they're saying. But man, like Scott Adkins, like when he gets in these big movies, he cannot get much in terms of screen time, can he? Which is too bad. And like the stripper girls, I didn't really care about. Okay, they're strippers, but you don't see the titties. You don't see the bare ass. You see a thong on the ass, but show them nipples. Show them their titties. And apparently this cat wants to see the titties too, so I can't even do a review and maybe the cat's too busy describing titties. He's too excited. But I'm not stopping it again. It's just, not only do you not see the titties, but like when they kill a couple people, there's a lot of CGI blood. And then they ended with the line, I kid you not, well, this party is dead. I'm like, oh my god, really? Like, that's the line? So some of the dialogue is not the best in this movie. Kind of like, oh, really? Well, this party is dead? Like, come on, man. Like, the way it was said during the whole scene, it's like, oh, it was a bit cringe. It was a bit cringe. And, like, the guy who's, like, a dancing assassin, he's got spurs on. So he'll do, like, all these moves and then cut people's necks. Oh, my God. I like that done better in Double Impact. And this around the time where Terry Crews has to be with this one girl's cousin. And he's annoying as hell. His name's called Money. Yeah, the type of money you burn. So Bautista gets the idea with the help of Ben Kingsley to go to this castle, set up these traps. You get a bit of a fight between him and Drew McIntyre, Scott Adkins, which is a pretty decent bit. It's a 2-on-1 fight, and Bautista gets kicked around and punched around a bit. But there's a piece of armor he puts on his hand, punches a bit. But then I thought it ended a bit too soon. A bit too quickly. Because then he does a thing, Drew McIntyre gets pulled up, impaled. Scott is pissed off. They get into a little, like, I don't know, 15 more second fight until Bautista grabs him, stabs him under the chin, and it's over. And I just thought Scott Adkins could have been utilized a bit more. And I thought that fight could have gone a bit longer. That's when you compare it to, like, Accident Man. Like, the fight he had with, was it Michael Jai White and Ray Park? Just felt much more impactful, much more memorable, at least to me. And then the two stripper ladies, it's like they go in guns a-blazing. He's shooting back a bit. There's a tripwire. One of them gets blown forward. Bautista gets her. I did like this bit where he says, hate to see you go, but I love to watch you leave. Which is a line you've heard many times before. Pulls the pin, throws her to the other girl. They both blow up. I thought that was kind of funny. But also very short. Like, it was kind of funny, but just pretty short, and oh, now it's done. And then he has to fight with the dancer guy, and something about that fight didn't work for me. I think because like the guy's so fluid, but Bautista, you tell he's a bit slower with his punches and stuff, so then it becomes a bit more grappling. And then at one point, like, they get swords, but then it cuts away to Terry Crews and the dumbass Money, which now they have Sofia Boutella's character. They'll cut to our characters in the middle of the sword fight. They do like 3 more things, and then I think Bautista like pushes him back or something. He gets a gun, shoots. Bautista flies over a table. There's a bomb, like a mine, blows up the dancer. Just so many things with, I mean, the explosions are cool, but it's like, goddamn, man. There's the girl, which worked well with the Asian lady. She gets killed with the bomb. The 2 strippers get killed by the bomb. Now this guy gets killed with the bomb. Are you the specialist? I mean, you could be called the specialist too. You change a few more things. So one thing leads to another. Sofia escapes. She gets to Bautista. Oh yeah, Daniel Bernhardt arrives with his group of mercenaries, but if you think there's going to be some big action scene with all these mercenaries, not really. He does another bomb and blows a couple of them up, escapes. I did like the bit where he finds out that she's pregnant. He wants to get married. The guy who plays the priest, I don't know who he was, but I did like that actor. Seems like I've seen him in something, but I don't remember. Where it's like, well, I can't marry you until you gotta confess your sins. So it cuts to a bit where he's confessed all his sins as a hitman, and you see the priest going, "Oh my God, you know what? I regret it. Like I regret you even doing this." I thought that was kind of a funny bit. They're ready to get married. Terry Crews comes in. Then Daniel Bernhardt's team comes in. There's a bit of a shootout. Bautista shoots 2 or so people, it seems. Pulls a gun on Daniel Bernhardt. There's no bullets. Daniel Bernhardt's ready to shoot him, but then Sofia blows the guy's head off. So no fight scene between Bautista and Daniel Bernhardt. Bernhardt doesn't show any of his martial arts, any of his moves, so it made me go, why is he even here in the first place? I mean, okay, it's cool he got another job, but this could have been anybody doing anything. It just didn't seem that exciting of a finale compared to some of the stuff we saw before. And that's for me, like, the action scenes. There's a couple of decent ones, but again, I thought that the pacing and the action scenes just seemed much more fulfilling and Day Shift among other movies. And I thought, like, okay, you don't take 40 minutes other than a couple beats here and there to build us up. You really gotta go full force with the finale. And aside from a couple moments, some of the later ones seemed to end a bit too short or a bit too quick. And I think a lot more could have been done with that. But that's just me. Everything ends well, though. They do get married. Everything's fine. There's a slight hint for a sequel, which will never happen. And maybe that's for the best. Like I said, if you want to see, in my opinion, better version of this, is Accident Man 1 and 2. With Scott Adkins. Now, I said I do like it for the fact that I liked Dave Bautista. I thought he had some nice chemistry, bonding moments with Sofia. The fight with the 5 Asian folks, that was a fun sequence. The fight with Scott Adkins and Drew McIntyre was entertaining, although a bit too short. Drew McIntyre and Scott Adkins were cool. I wish they were in it a lot more. Ben Kingsley I like seeing him as a good guy. I like seeing him as an ally, a mentor. I thought he worked well with Bautista. They had a couple of good moments. I thought Ben Kingsley has a couple of funny lines, reactions, little bits here and there throughout the film. Music-wise, nothing stuck out to me. Direction-wise, it was okay, but I thought J.J. Perry just did a bit better with Day Shift. I don't know, that one just, I thought stuck out to me more in a pleasant way compared to this. Like, this was okay. It was an alright film. Maybe you'll... But I don't know, it is kind of a low rating IMDb, so maybe I'm not the only one that feels that way. But it's just that I think that some of the dialogue could have been a bit better with some of the other characters. I thought Terry Crews could be utilized a lot better. The bad guys, and like the lady bad guy and Daniel Bernhardt, were kind of there. Take it or leave it. Some of the people Dave Bautista fights, I thought some of it ended a bit too quickly. Like, you pull out the swords and you cut away. You should have like a big long swords fight scene then. I'm not saying it has to be like 10 minutes, but you know, don't cut away before you start the damn sword fight bit. There's just bits here and there. There's Bobby. There's the CGI gore. So yeah, it's one of those films that it's okay to watch on streaming. Maybe you rent it, you see it once, you have some fun with it, but again, the amount of time it takes for things really to get cooking. Again, maybe because I've seen The Beekeeper and Life After Fighting and Burial Scar 4 and even the Fall Guy. So I saw much better action films. I've seen much worse, but I've seen better action films this year. Like I say, it's an okay Bautista joint, but I think J.J. Perry, he dropped the ball a little bit with this. With the way the script was structured and some of the other choices. I thought it was okay, it's alright, but a bit disappointing, at least for me. So with that said, thanks for watching, take care, and we'll see you guys later. Bye-bye.